Well, I see you managed to scrounge up cold cash for this copy of the Crypt of Terror. Good. Don't worry, you won't be sorry. You'll get more than your money's worth of chills. I'll see to it. Yes, it's me again, your host in horror, the Crypt Keeper. Welcome once more to my hovel, the Crypt of Terror. For my first offering to curdle your blood, I have chosen one of my best terror tales from my vast collection of spine tinglers here in the crypt. This is the story of Clyde Franklin, the renowned animal hunter. Remember him? Remember when he disappeared? Well, I found him. Or what's left of him. This is his story, as he told it to me, in his very words. Clyde sarcastically calls it the trophy.
Yes, I'm Clyde Franklin. My story begins one night in my luxurious home. It was the night before I was to leave on another of my hunting expeditions. A reporter from the Morning Globe had dropped in to interview me. I found him waiting for me in the trophy room. He stared at the headlined walls, wide-eyed. "Ah, I see you have discovered my trophy room."
Oh, Mr. Franklin, you startled me.
I had to keep myself from laughing. The reporter was pale as a ghost. "Don't you like my souvenirs?"
They're gruesome. Some of them look so alive.
Oh, come now, sir. These are mementos of my past hunting trips. They're my records of achievement.
How could you?
Huh?
How could you hunt these poor creatures? Kill them, then stuff their heads and hang them here. It's cruel. Cruel!
Now, be reasonable, sir. I hunt for the pure sport of it. These are my scores, like touchdowns in football. Surely you cannot deny a man his sport.
Sport, is it? It's murder. These poor creatures once lived, like you or I. You murdered them.
I think this interview is at an end, young man. Good evening.
Good night.
The young reporter stormed out of my trophy room, stamped across the marble hall, whisked his hat off the rack, opened the huge oak door, and slammed it hard. I began to laugh. Poor fool! What's he so worked up about? After all, they're only animals. The next morning I was up at dawn. After a hearty breakfast, I packed the last remaining necessities into my station wagon and bid goodbye to my servants. "Goodbye, Jeeves. I'll bring a moose head just for you."
Goodbye, sir. Good luck.
My trip this time was to take me up the Alaskan highway in search of caribou, puma, moose, or any other unfortunate animal that might cross my gun sights. After Africa and India, this trip will be tame. Just a few miles out of Prince George, Canada, I made my first camp. There ought to be plenty of moose and caribou in these woods. I'll try my luck bright and early tomorrow morning. The next day, I tracked a moose for 3 hours. Finally, I caught up with him. He was standing in the shallow waters of a small lake, drinking his fill. Look at those antlers. What a trophy he'll make. He turned toward me and bellowed as I came out in the open. I raised my gun, sighted carefully, and he dropped to his knees. He snorted in pain. His beady eyes reddened. He stumbled to his feet and charged. I stood my ground. I raised my gun again. I waited until I knew I could hit the vital spot. Then I fired. He went down as the bullet struck him. He rolled over and lay dead at my feet. He was tremendous. His head was going to be a wonderful addition to my trophy room. I unsheathed my knife and set to work. The next day I broke camp and continued on my way. About noon I stopped at one of the few gas stations along the Alaskan highway.
Better fill her up, mister, and take a can to spare. Next station's 200 miles.
Good idea.
Say, that's some moosehead you got there. Where'd you bag him?
North of Prince George. He's a beauty, isn't he?
Where's the carcass?
I left it. I just wanted the head for my trophy room.
Shucks, that's a lot of meat gone to waste. Folks up here hunt for food.
Well, I hunt for sport. It was towards evening that it happened. I was speeding along at a fair clip when I saw the board stretched across the road. Spikes! I slammed my foot down on the brakes. The two front tires exploded as the spikes ripped into them. The station wagon lurched crazily and I felt it going over. There was a horrible crash and everything went black. When I came to, I was lying on a couch in a rustic cabin. As the cobwebs cleared, I heard a strange sound. It was the steady throbbing of a motor coming from the next room. Where am I? I remember the crash. Suddenly, as I lay there, I heard voices coming from the room with the throbbing motor.
No, please, don't. Have mercy.
My blood froze in my veins. It sounded like someone was being tortured.
Please, no.
What in blazes? I've got to... I tried to move. An excruciating pain shot through my leg. I looked down. It was twisted. It was broken. My leg is broken. I can't move. Suddenly the door opened. For a moment I heard the motor, louder, and there was another sound, a gurgling sound, like water being pumped through pipes.
Ah, you've come around.
He closed the door, shutting out the sounds. He smiled at me.
How do you feel? I was afraid you might have a concussion.
Fine, except for my leg. You talk like you know something about medicine. Why couldn't you put my leg in a splint?
I'm not interested in your leg.
What kind of man are you? Who have you got in there? It sounds like you're torturing him.
You heard.
Yes! Look, you've got to set my leg or get me to a doctor.
You're not going anywhere. You're my prisoner.
The spikes. You put them across the road.
Exactly. Let us say I bagged you as a hunter bags an animal.
What are you going to do with me? He turned and started out the door.
You'll see. You'll see.
I watched him as he crossed the clearing and entered what appeared to be a woodshed. He was obviously mad. Whoever he had in that room with the ceaselessly throbbing motor was in great pain. I decided to try to reach the door, to see my leg. It's killing me. With a great deal of effort, I managed to half hop, half drag myself across the room to the door. I flung it open. Why, there's no one here. The room was empty. On a bare white table was a rather large round box. It looked like a hat box. On the floor a small motor throbbed. It seemed to be a pump arrangement. From an attached tank several rubber tubes ran off toward the table. If I heard the motor, and it's here, then the person I heard must be here too. Over the table a bottle hung upside down. It looked like the kind of bottle used to administer plasma. A tube ran from it down to the table. Funny, all the tubes seemed to run under that box. I dragged myself painfully to the table. I stared down at the strange box. I saw now that it was only a cover. Suddenly, the hair on the back of my neck crawled. Once again came that pathetic, sad moan. It came from the box. I grasped the handle and raised the cover. The most horrifying sight I have ever seen met my eyes. I screamed. Ah! There, on the table, was a living, breathing human head. It blinked at me through wide eyes.
Run, you fool! Get away from here! He's mad! Mad!
I stood, rooted to the spot, unable to move. The indescribable horror I felt numbed my senses.
Do you hear me? Get out before it's too late! Do you want to end up like me?
Suddenly, the head's wide, staring eyes looked beyond me. I spun around.
Well, I see you have discovered my trophy room.
Your trophy room?
Why, yes. This is where I will keep the heads of all of my game.
He turned and took a can off a shelf. You're crazy! You can't hunt human beings!
Why not? I hunt them for the pure sport of it.
Then he reached for a sponge. Sport? It's murder!
Call it what you will. It's my idea of sport.
He came at me with the can and sponge. I tried to get away, but my broken leg sent me sprawling. He clapped the damp sponge over my nose and mouth, and I smelled the sickening, pungent odor of chloroform. I began to lose consciousness, drifting off into a black abyss.
After all, they're only human beings.
When the darkness faded and I came to, I was staring out over the white expanse of the tabletop. The door opened. He came in. He had someone with him.
But before you die, I want you to see my trophy room.
He pointed at me. The man with him was cut and bruised as if he had been in an accident.
And this is my latest memento from a past hunting trip. Soon you too will become one of my records of achievement. Yes, that's Clyde Franklin's story in his own words. That's how he told it to me when I dropped in to see my friend who lives in the little cabin near the Alaskan highway. You should see his trophy room now. He's getting to be quite the hunter. Now I'll turn you over to my fellow lunatic, the Vault Keeper, for some more skullduggery.